Hello everyone, we'll be starting momentarily. I'm getting everything set up before we begin, so please bear with me. Okay, that's all done. String connected, nothing seems to be having an issue, so we are good to go. Hi everyone, welcome to another stream of this game. Apollo Justice. I don't know why I blanked on the name for a second there. We're going to be doing the first trial for the third case. We are currently trying to defend Maya from being convicted of murder again. Girl cannot stop killing people. But yeah, we're trying to find out who killed the monk. Trust in me. And we are going to be finding out what is going on with that. Like, it seems as though that he might be part of a resistance, and he probably had like disagreements with how things were being done, like the whole stuff with killing lawyers and everything else. But it looks like that someone escaped from the prison that was atop the mountain and may have parachuted down using the flags by sewing them together to create a makeshift escape attempt. And I get the feeling that the scruffy man with the beard and hair is that guy that escaped. But we're going to see what's going to come up today. Hey, Rafatron, if Pearls does show up, that'll be funny. She's like, I'm the murderer. Hi, Nick. Mr. Nick. But yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen. We're going to see what Samadhi is like in this place and how he is with Phoenix, if he's more aggressive or if he's more normal. Maybe he just hates freaking Apollo. But yeah, we're going to see how we're going to go. And yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen. So let us begin. Game time. Play. Capcom. Capcom's been on a roll lately, especially with, announcing that whole Marvel vs. Capcom collection. That's cool. The only Marvel game, or the only Capcom of those games I've played has been the Marvel Superheroes, which was for the PS1. That's the only one I played, and I liked it. So it'll be fun to see what they do with this one. I know they're old ones, but apparently it's a big deal because they hadn't been releasing or re-releasing them in a while, and they weren't working a lot with the older ones. So yeah, right. So it's picked up. Everything seems to be good. All right then. Left the one out of Phoenix. Yeah, he's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, if I remember correctly. He's not in 2, because it came up before those games came out, if I remember. So, yeah. Good game. Trial, day 1. Bum, bum, bum. May 11th, 9:40 a.m. High Court of Khu'rain. Accused. Lobby. Wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday, but if I can figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe. Nick, today don't look so down, Maya. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. This is probably the Samadhi guy. I need to remember how I did his voice now. You would do well to cease this insanity while you can. Oh, no, it's you. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time. The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. The truth, you say? Huh. Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last trial. Goodbye. Nick, I'm going to prove you're innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, you have to introduce the plumed Punisher, warrior of Neo Twilight Realm, to the folks back home, right? Right. I may be a defendant this time. What do you mean this time? You're always a defendant. But I'll be by your side like always, Nick. Thanks, Maya. This place is tough on lawyers. I need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always good to have you on my team. Or on the team. Well, it's time. Let's go. Is that just a bowl of water over there? I just noticed that. Gotta show Edgeworth. Yeah. May 11th. Into the court we go. Why is she over here? I mean, I get that she's supposed to be our aide as well, but, like, she's also a defendant. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin. The defense is ready, Your Majesty. Quiet, can't you see that prosecutor Samadhi is absorbed in silent prayer? Great. The trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me. It's a very devout for a prosecutor. Why is the accused standing over there? Oh, well, that's what I'm asking. Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. The accused is your assistant, you say? Very well, then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul. That wasn't very nice. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyers seems to be a custom of sorts around here in Khu'rain. I must say, I'm surprised to see you still here in Khu'rain, Mr. Wright. And even me more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. I cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I'm a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Although, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere here but here right now. Such foolishness. Ah, Prosecutor Samadhi, are you ready to begin now? Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. I'm sorry if I'm, like, messing up his voice. It's been a while, and I've already forgotten how to do it. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell. Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation. Splendid! I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Samadhi. Please save the victim's soul, Prosecutor Samadhi! Punish the wicked lawyer who dares to stop these last rites! I think I'll pass on that whole fire and brimstone deal. But I'm not surprised by your words or stats, considering what Apollo's told me about you. So it was you who instilled that putrid loyally guile within him. Putrid? What? He too must soon face the fires, lest his soul be lost to redemption. But I shall send you on ahead, so that he will not be lonely when he arrives. Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. You also look like you're actually doing a call on like a secret radio. Too bad I'm the defendant. Don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. Phoenix, Okay, buddy, I get that you're trying to make sure that she's up, but the things you are saying are red flags, so please stop it before something happens. You're right. Let's give this everything we have got, Nick. Now then, Prosecutor Samadi, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin. The last rites of the victim. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Taras Inmi. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain. The cause of death? Let us review the victim's autopsy report and the crime scene photo, shall we? The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the Warbad dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. A sacred relic used as a tool of murder? The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Kira's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Khu'rainism. During the rite, the victim and accused were the only two in the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey. I must say, that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused. Indeed. And now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case. Diagram of the scene. Shows where the lanterns and the Warbad statues are. In Khu'rainism, slaying a priest is sin, most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling. Okay. There she shall be tickled without end for 500 million years. Okay. I killed one monk. You're punished for the rest of eternity. That is a terrible fate indeed. Would the defense care to respond? Here, I thought the lowest level of hell was the hell of back pain. I don't remember killing anyone, and I don't have that dagger or anything like it. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the high priest in the first place.
Objection!
And I thought you might say that. Nevertheless, butterfly, go fly. The meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all will be made clear by her benevolence Rafa Padma. Her middle name is Padma? Okay. Rafa Padma Khu'rain's insights. So it is, and so it shall be. The divination seance reveals the truth for all to see. Here we go again. Bailiff, please show in the royal priestess. You have legs. Miss Princess Rafa. Oh, how beautiful her benevolence looks again today. Why are they all shocked? They saw her last time. Glory to the Holy Mother to this blessed day. As popular as ever, I see. Rest assured, good people of Khu'rain, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. They shall not escape on their freedom expressed today. What a joy it is to have the royal priestess back in the Hall of Justice. May the Holy Mother grant us her divine favor. Urdihara Khu'rain!
Urdihara Khu'rain! Urdihara Khu'rain!
She sure looks pleased with herself. Especially for someone who didn't know what a Freedom Express was until yesterday. Is there something stuck on my face, barbed head? No, nothing, Your Benevolence. Now then, Your Benevolence, the divination seance, if you please. Very well. Naina, my robe. She broke it!
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear and our ears be unstopped.
I don't know why they do like partial voiceovers. I mean, it's nice. It's better than none, I guess. It's weird.
O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me.
Gives me a break, though.
So that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
The pool of souls coming through the curtains of memory and the skylight of cleanliness and the star of truth. Are we gonna have... I think I mentioned this before. I said if we were gonna watch this every time, and we're doing it. So, yeah, I guess so. They really want to show off this dance. When you finish with the game, you should check out the museum. I probably will. They worked hard on this. It's also kind of funny that everyone in the room just sort of disappears. I get that it's supposed to focus on her, but it makes it seem as though everyone just leaves because they don't want to watch her again. Here we go. I wonder what happens if you drink this water. Right to both lanterns. That lantern doesn't look destroyed yet. Wind. Footsteps. Incense. Pain. She would have had to have had lightning speed in order to get dressed that fast. That was like barely a few seconds. She has to put on a robe, then a hat thingy, then a mask, take out the dagger, and stand in the exact spot. That would take more than a few seconds. The victim's Matama has spoken. The divination seance is complete. Great. Another clearly incriminating seance vision. It could not be any clearer, O foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light. The scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One can almost sense the horror Abba in me must have felt. The facts are presented as by her benevolence and are indisputable. But that wasn't me. Do something, Nick. I'm working on it. It couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle. The accused committed this vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite. Come to think of it, the rite's guide explains the multi-part purification rite in detail. I can't... It's word hard. The transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. The rite of water. Lady Kira enters a spring and the high priest purifies her along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Indeed, it would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the high priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, Bobbed Head, would you care to object? Of course, because I know my client is innocent. So you say, you truly do not know when you are beaten, do you? I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. I'll just have to do it again. You intend to find fault with Her Majesty Benevolent's insights yet again? It would seem lawyers are Polkunkan creatures indeed. Look at that, Polkunkan! 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 What exactly is a Polkunkan? Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak. They can call me anything they want. Oh, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will always hurt me. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. So, Bobbed Head, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? We're doing it already! Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave. Yeah, shut up. Those insights. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite, ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused approaching his footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. And that is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Dressed in sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. Yes, it is plain for all to see. No, it wasn't me! A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes. You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truth revealed by the royal priestess' divine insight. Ugh. How did you end up finding our contradictions last time? The disease's final memories include all 5 senses. Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the pool of souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. The sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafer's insights the last time. I guess they have to kind of describe this again because we had a case that didn't have this just before. So there could be contradictions between what Abbot in me felt and her insights. Huh. You got it. Now I'm going to find them this time too. Should I check how to point out contradictions in Rafer's insights? Just in case. I can switch between the insights of A and D, while I look for inconsistencies between them and the sensations in the vision. The seance visions can be paused with Z. I can even jump to different points in the seance vision, using M and B. When I see an insight that doesn't seem right, I should select it. And all I have to do is point out the sensation that contradicts with the insight. The sensation themselves this time seems to fluctuate more than the ones from Albie's trial. In which case, I better keep an eye on changes in their intensity too. First part transformation he ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, wind. There was no approaching footsteps. Well, there's footsteps now. So I need to go back. Pause. I'm pressing pause. Damn it, I need to go back now. Right, no.
Objection!
I'm probably wrong, but it's worth a shot. Your beloveds, this is even inconsistent with the vision. Inconsistent? I think not. Exactly. That's where the inconsistency lies. No, I believe it is in the defense's thought process that the inconsistency lies. Guess there wasn't an inconsistency there after all. Huh. What is it, Maya? I'm still trying to figure out this whole insight thing. When the words change size, that means the intensity of the sensation is changing too, right? That's what it looks like to me. So then, that's probably something we should keep an eye out on too. In short, we should be on the lookout for changes that shouldn't take place but they do anyway, and changes that don't occur when they should. A very perceptive of you. I guess all that training sharpens Maya's mind along with her powers. Let's compare the vision to the insights while looking for changes in sensory intensity. Sounds like a plan. Kick a butt, Nick. Incense gets bigger, bigger, bigger. Pain. Commenced purification rite, bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly. He heard the accused approaching footsteps, smelled her incense-laden robes. Felt an intense pain. Heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense. I wonder if I just got it at the wrong point. First part of the transformation rite ended. He lowered the sutra. But it didn't end because he literally just looked at it for a few seconds. I might be thinking too much into this. They might have just made it speed up. Not exactly sure. Oh, a minute. The footsteps stay the same here, which is a little odd. The incense gets closer, but the footsteps don't. And now that I was thinking it was weird because when the thing moves, it doesn't step. It doesn't have like the jostling a step would do. It just sort of glides forward, which makes me think it isn't actually a person, or it's a person on a treadmill or something. I'm going with that.
Objection!
Yeah. Rafashon, again, please don't tell me what to do. Like, I appreciate it, but I've said and I've put it in my rules to not, tell me how to do things unless I specifically ask chat for it. So I get that you want to help and I appreciate it, but please don't until I ask. Okay? Thank you. The victim supposedly heard the accuser's approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? Is it not abundantly clear? No, it's not, because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, Bobbed Head. The footsteps are strange because they don't get louder. They are not getting any louder. And why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Yeah, got blown by my point wind! Why, that makes perfect sense. How can this be explained, Your Benevolence? Well, there must be a reason.
Objection!
It is as they say, even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean? He's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its loyally source. Your Benevolence, perhaps you must listen more carefully to the Abbot's Mitama. Listen more carefully? What's he talking about? Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with the Mitama. I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. It's like binoculars or something. Oh, blessed Matama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call. Wee. Bells. Footsteps changed into bells. What could this mean? That was the judge. Sorry. Oh, what could this mean? I suddenly gained 50 years of age back. Bells? But the only bells at the scene of the crime were... that jingling must have come from Abbot Inme's bells. You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. The sound of the bells was from the High Priest's own footsteps. Then that means... if the footsteps belong to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. The victim was the one who went running towards the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what a benevolence insights would have us believe. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe he was trying to defend himself? Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Still your voices, this is nothing but a theory and a poor one at that. Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation.
Objection!
While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself, Your Benevolence. Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Samadi? Even if it was the Abbot Inme who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the High Priest to approach. And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is as simple as that. Oh, right. It really doesn't change much, does it? Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is I meant to say all along as well. Right, that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it. Understand now, lawyer, that contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hone my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun. Insight revised! Woo! See, the fact that it was Abbot Indy who moved changes nothing. Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep you cool. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. The one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. I should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights. Blah, 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 bowing to the things. Wow. Wow. Just make sure he lowered the sutra. Suddenly. Wind. Incense bells. Why would you run at her with with his hands up like that anyway? Water. Hold on a minute. It goes from bells to water. So yeah, we still got something wrong here.
Objection!
Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? Huh, that's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and Abbot Inmi would have adhered to them. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point. Oh, what's this? It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh. Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What contradiction? I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right up in front of him. But we know that the victim then moved into the spring. Oh, Kunka, that's absurd! This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence insights indicates. Then, where do you propose the victim stood when she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here.
Take that!
Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abbot Indy and Miss Faye were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in the rites guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring, and the accused in front. However, if that is how they really were standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This could only mean that Miss Faye had actually been standing in the water. But if it's true, then the position would have completely reversed. What is going on here, Miss Faye? Were you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. The High Priest would never make such an obvious blunder doing right. What on earth? It's impossible!
That's enough!
Be that as it may, this does not overturn my any insights. Or my insights. It doesn't? And let us say that the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions is what? That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. I guess you have a point there. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Ugh. Sounds like Princess Rafe has pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh, Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? Huh. I will now amend my insight to account to this new truth. Woo! You rush the accused and try to fight her off by the poolside lantern. And now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright? Nick? Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but her benevolence and insights have no further inadequacies of any kind. Yes, so it would seem. Wait a second, but there is another contradiction. Still, you found her about, wretched beast. The thought you racked that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone might cause a new discrepancy within Rafer's insights. That's right. I now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record and confirm where Maya and Abbot Inme were standing. Okay, fine. I'm starting to think that the murder weapon wasn't the knife. I had this thought when I first saw the scene, because I was like, that's a very pointy statue. That kind of looks like one of those banana knives. And now that we're in this situation, I'm like, okay, maybe he ran forward and just impaled himself on the statue by accident. And then focus on finding any discrepancies between the positions and the insights. Make immense beautification right by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Because if he was bowing to the lanterns... Hold on a minute. I need to get past the point where he reads this. Broken. Hold on a minute. Because if he was facing that way, the thing wouldn't show up. It wouldn't be able to tell that that lantern is broken. I need to go back. Yeah, you can see it flickering out, which means that this broke. So he's facing the other way now. But that still doesn't make sense. I wonder if I have to do it on the site or if to do it on the sound, but I'm going to do it on the site.
Objection!
Your Benevolence, I found a new contradiction. And 1 second, guys. Sorry for the pause. I need to do something quick. Doot. Alright, so about that. Back to the game. You did? Huh. No doubt it is but another of your vile attempts to slander my insights. Nope, take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There's nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. I fail to see your point. My point is, something is wrong here. The 2 lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. Glassed wind guards. I said, because it was such a long sentence and I didn't, have a break, my S went away. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. She seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember saying anything funny. I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. Oh, blessed Matama, I beseech you, fix your sight upon the lantern there. Zoom. Enhance. Huh? The lesson doesn't have a wind guard on it. And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the rite of fire. He went to tickling it. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering. What? Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them back on. So they tampered with the scene. The sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, defense. We could not risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation. Would never fly back home. Well, Bobbed Head, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of Mitama. Nick. Don't worry, Maya. I'm just getting started. Alright, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robe and standing in the spring. The High Priest is thought to have been moving towards her. So should I look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement? What? That should have been a question mark at the end. I won't give up. I'm gonna find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Oh, we can actually see the lanterns now. That one is broken. And that one isn't. back to the start. Wow. Yeah, you can see that it's missing a side, which would mean that she is on the actual side she was supposed to be on. But Lady Kira was the one in the pool. But where am I supposed to present this? I think it would probably be by this one.
Objection!
What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you all right, Mr. Wright? One minute you shout out, and in the next you fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Samadi? Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way is to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I've found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken, and if you watch what Abbot Imi saw in his final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Faye is broken. The lantern behind the Lady Kira, however, is still intact. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in this seance vision. How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? Let me start by saying the claim I am about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, we can tell I guess it would be Maya and Emi's positions. It wouldn't be the lantern positions. Where the accused and the victim were standing. But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did. I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully, it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertion in such a capricious manner, its credibility may become into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused is standing. It'd be funny if it's like, he just keeps doing it. It's like, oh, actually, no, I was wrong. She's actually over here. Like, he keeps finding new things that says she's somewhere else. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing. I was really standing here. Oh, whoops.
Take that!
I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know that the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No. This is where things take a different turn, and I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving towards the spring. And that means that while he was moving, he had his back turned towards the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now. No one noticed? How could no one notice something so big? Because it was all blurry. There was a moment when the scripture victim was holding what was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was in fact turning around in that moment.
Objection!
It is as if the defense asserts that her benevolence insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
I don't need to explain anything, because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Smaddy. Her benevolence insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Such insolence! A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is the number of people there. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. And then this awesome artwork was drawn. It is cool. That was when he was stabbed. This cannot be. Oh, but it can, and it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind all the testimony of the dead. Oh. 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 Conquer! Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? Have I misunderstood the voice of the Matama yet again? This cannot be. Dramatic fainting. That's the second time. Whew, that was a close one. I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. McClunky. Indeed, Raphotron. Dated. High Priest was during the rite. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brass accusation of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yes, I shall place my trust in you. Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Smari? My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time, I have learned to perform last rites for souls in trials lacking a seance. Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen. I guess he really does think highly of Emma with her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value, but again, he is an international prosecutor who solved cases around the world. So was Francisca, but no one seems to be going on about her. Time to hunker down, huh? Now then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claim has negated the insights of the royal priestess, so I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. This third party must have really wanted to kill the high priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this. It's the letter. Where is it? Well, there's the envelope. I guess it's this one.
Take that!
3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual. He did? Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite. But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent the letter? The person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Peace! I don't understand. I had heard that Lady Kira had been in the news of late, only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the High Priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? The High Priest? He couldn't possibly have been a rebel. The High Priest is a devout follower of Khu'rainism, a rebel? This music is dramatic. Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible.
Objection!
The third party was the rebel hunting Lady Kira, and the High Priest was a rebel? Your mockery of Khu'rainism, no. Of the kingdom of Khu'rain itself knows no bounds. Whoops. The shameless Paul Kunkin lawyer! He's making a mockery of our religion! Yeah, sure. As a faithful Khu'rainist, I take issue with these claims, and I am loath to admit them in today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going. The defense claims are but a vile blasphemy tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? Abbot Imi was a distinguished monk and very well respected too, so... yeah. Ugh. Please don't let this turn into an international incident. But fear not, good people of Khu'rain. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in the abdomen. How is it possible when he had his back toward Miss Faye? Someone else must have killed him.
Objection!
Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is as yet still in my hands. How can you be so confident? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts. An eyewitness? Very well. Let us call this eyewitness to the stand. How is there an eyewitness? You literally said that they were the only two people there. Oh, it's you. It's him again. Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I've ever laid my eyes upon. Please state your name and occupation. Oh, you know, that's so-and-so. Whatchamacallit? I've forgotten how to do his voice or what his voice was. Anonymous TBD. Really? Your name is Anonymous to be determined. At least that's what they keep been calling me. TBD, as in to be determined. Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, I named him Anonymous TBD in my report, but he thinks TBD is part of his name.
Objection!
You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear, I have already questioned him at length. While it is true he has utterly forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact. Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Miss Immus, please tell us what you saw. Testimony. Oh. The night of the murder. That night I was on top of the Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray to peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right of the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. There's no way you saw Miss Faye stab the victim with a dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about. I don't remember at any rate. Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum. They must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Mr. Imus, I was wondering, what can I do for you? The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountaintop next to it? Good point. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Imus? Excuse me. Bless me. On the day of the rite, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day? Yeah, let's take a look. Everyone in the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperature will make for an excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. Huh. It does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it? See? I told you so. You don't have a gut laugh at me. Well, it would appear the witness has offered testimony worth hearing. Mr. Imus, I too have a question for you. Didn't you already question the witness? Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot! How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding from the bottom of her hand? Yep, I believe she was. It's called a reverse grip. Ah, I thought as much.
Hold it!
Hold it right there. What bearing does that have on this case? Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. How about no? Because you interrupt me when I'm doing mine, so how about you shut up? Do you see the significance in how the blade was held? Why don't you enlighten me, O enlightened one? I knew you were a fool. I can already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes, after your soul writhes for centuries in the pits of hell. You shall be reborn as a wireless sea urchin with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live in a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. That was a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case. Now pay attention. Now, how the accused held the dagger is of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what action she took. You were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct? Yes. As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip. Which makes no sense because that just completely removes the seance we just did, showing that he was stabbed from the front. Are you just making stuff up? What? Thus, Mr. Immer's testimony clears up any doubts that may remain. Also, why would she do that? That makes no sense. Oh, I've got to stab him from the front. Just stab him from the back. And it coincides with her benevolence insights as well. It does not. This is a disaster. I thought I had blown those insights out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Kangaroo court, this is.
Hold it!
Are you sure you're not mistaken, Mr. Immus? Was it really Mount Pony Pony that you climbed? Oh, I'm sure. It was a really ponyish mountain. What does that even mean? You know, now that I think about it, it was a mighty fine view.
Hold it!
If you hate crowds, why bother climbing to the top? Couldn't you have just easily prayed at the bottom of Mount Pony Pony? Wrong, bucko! This is once-a-year epic event! I wanted to pay it close to the actual thing as possible. If you're gung-ho about it, why didn't you go pray at the Plaza of Devotion? Like I said, I hate crowds. I wanted to pray peace. Oh, Holy Mother, why do I only get the annoying ones? And my burning faith demanded that I climb up the mountain closer to the inner sanctum. Also...
Hold it!
Since nobody was around, there is nobody who can corroborate your actions either. Oh, you're exactly right. In that case, Mr. Immers, let me ask you this. Was there a reason you didn't want to be seen? About that. If you're caught climbing that surrounding mountain of the day of the right, you can get in big, big trouble. That's it? Yeah, it's totally embarrassing getting yelled at when you're a grown-up. Yeah, you're a real grown-up, all right. And since nobody was around, I lost all inhibition and innovation. What the hell is an innovation? I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum.
Hold it!
You had a pair of binoculars with you? That's pretty convenient. You weren't planning to spy on the right all along, were you? Actually, I just happened to have them for birdwatching. Birdwatching, huh? I see. You're not going to keep pressing him on this? He's sketchy as heck, but I don't really have anything I can really sink my teeth into yet. Oh, okay then. I love the great outdoors. They're just the kind of guy I am. A guy called Anonymous DBD. He's really starting to get on my nerves. As I looked through my binoculars, I couldn't believe what was unfolding before me.
Hold it!
Did you really see what you say you did? Are you saying I'm lying about this? Well, I'm not. I etched permanently into this old noggin. But I didn't do what you say I did. I don't even get a chance to touch the dagger on the day of the right. What do I know of that? All I know is what I saw. I've never seen you before in my life. What possible reason could I have to lie? I didn't expect there to be any witnesses up there. But I don't remember doing that at all. I know, I have a feeling the witness is lying. There has to be an inconsistency somewhere in this testimony, and there is. I should take another look at the court record. Because how would he be able to see, regardless of the height difference, there's also a freaking tent thing in the way. It's E, not R.
Objection!
Please take a look at this piece of evidence. Anything come to mind? Well... Did the defense have something he would like to say? That fell on deaf ears. Okay, I guess it was not that then. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to present? Because it shows the tent curtain here.
Objection!
No. Evidence. Let it go and move on. Abandon this folly. You know very well your evidence proves nothing. Nice try, but you can't make me give up. I'm going to prove I'm right. You can point your fingers as much as you want, but you're simply wasting your time. It's a pitiful sight to see a lawyer who doesn't know when he's beat. I just need to hang in there a little longer. I guess I might need to show this.
Objection!
No. Owie. Okay. Top of Mount Poniponi, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. Big crowds, I know it's no, but since we're out, use my binoculars to spy on the right. I guess it's this one, because it's the mention of the binoculars, I think. I can consult, sure. Looks like you can count on your bluffing skills to save your butt this time. You can't. Yeah, this is a tough one. Well, to me, there's something about this one statement that seems off. Yeah, it does sound a little strange, doesn't it? Thanks, Maya. I'll take another look at the state evidence. You can always count on me. Okay, so it is this one. Got it. I guess this one?
Objection!
No. It's probably the tent then. Something the matter? Sorry, that scream just sort of slipped out. I don't know about trials in your country, but refrain from such rash outbursts here. Perhaps this will deter any future urges you might have. I've heard enough. This trial need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charges filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense's Culpability Act against the defense. Now then, kill them. This court finds the accused Maya Fey, and the defense Phoenix Wright. Guilty. And then they were killed right there in the courtroom with rocks. My eyes! Here we go. Press, not press, present. This one.
Objection!
There's one of those. Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him. What? You can't just be judging me solely my bodacious beard, are you? Not at all, Mr. Immis. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. His testimony, you say? Yes. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day? Specifically, that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain. Why, yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Poniponi. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen. Oh-ho! Mr. Immis, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? You got me! The witness will lower his voice. I didn't actually see the accused herself. He didn't actually see the accused? What's that supposed to mean? Let me set the record straight, I beg you. This guy's voice is going all over the place because I can't quite remember, so I'm just doing whatever. The murder amended. I saw their shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon in that clear, still night. She was just about a shadow, and I could tell it was accused of reverse gripping the dagger. Shadows? This is what you saw? That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain. In the future, Mr. Inmus, I would rather you offer your accurate testimonies from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Miss Majorshepard, chalk it up to fuzzy memory. Though he saw but shadows, it is still valuable testimony. You have got to be kidding me. What are you going to do now, Nick? All I can think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual right and what Mr. Inmus said. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more. Cross-examination. Shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. Figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear, still night. Would We enjoyed calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperature will make for an excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that there will soon a cold front move in overnight. Probably not that then. Alright, let's press. So what you saw were simply shadows? Oh, that's right. Those shadowy figures on that bright white curtain. They showed up through plain as day. I could see everything that happened. Miss Faye and Abbot Immy were at the top of the mountain late at night. The only light up there was coming from 4 small lanterns. How could the shadow have been projected that clearly onto the curtain? No wonder people hot on about you lawyers. You're always so dang skeptical. The lanterns weren't the only source of light, you know.
Hold it!
You claim to have seen the shadowy figures that were projected onto the ritual curtain. But did you really see them, Mr. Immus? Of course I did. The bright moonlight projected them onto the curtain, clear as day. It was like watching a scene out of a horror movie from the front row seat of Mount Potty Potty. Huh. I guess the moon does shine a bit brighter when you're way up there. Maya, do you recall how bright the moon was that night? I remember there weren't any clouds and that the moon was definitely out. I don't remember if it could cast any shadows. Okay, thanks. I can't deny that the moon was really bright, which means it's possible that it was bright enough to cast shadows to appear. I remember it just like it happened.
Hold it!
Hang on. How do you know it was Miss Faye if all you saw were shadows? It was like the little bun on top of her head. Didn't need to see her face. That Detective Bob's a dead giveaway. Never underestimate my keen sense of observation. Now that's a funny haircut. It's not nice to make fun of a girl's hairstyle. I like my hair this way. Besides, you're the one to talk, you Sasquatch. You're onto this wild manny look I'm sporting? Shows you what you know, little girl. Nick, isn't there some kind of crime you can charge him with? I'm afraid it doesn't work that way. I could kill him. Now he claims he only saw shadows. His testimony was sketchy written all over it. Then there must be an inconsistency in there somewhere. Yep. Was he really watching everything from Mount Pony Pony? If so, then I should see how his testimony lines up with the conditions of the rite. I need to know if the moon was behind them or in front of them, because if it was in front of them, the shadows wouldn't work that way. The moon is in the west, so the shadows would be going eastwards.
Objection!
I was right. You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight? Sorry, but that does not possible. What do you mean? How is it not possible that it was totally possible? That's impossible. I think I've got an Elijah Lee's translation on there. Let's take a look at the rites guide, shall we, Mr. Immus? The rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. Doo-doo-doo. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. Mr. Immus was standing on the west to the inner sanctum of Mount Pony Pony. Oh, Holy Mother! That's right. A witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain. No way! Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadows you saw. I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Immus claims he's seen. But I did see those silhouettes, really. But how could he, Nick? Maybe he was somewhere else, someplace where they were visible? Wait, don't tell me. Your Majesty, if Mr. Immus really did those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. And that would be... the brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Immus really did see those shadows is... he was somewhere else. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, then where do you propose the witness was? someplace where he could have seen the shadow figures naturally. Wait, you mean... None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place he could have clearly seen the shadows from. And where might that be? This is where Mr. Immus was at the time of the murder. It's the only person that makes sense. He's at his home, where he couldn't see anything. Mr. Immus was at the inner sanctum, outside the curtain on the east side. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures. Hoo-ha! Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that. But wasn't the inner sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that's the subject Prosecutor Samadi would rather not touch right now. Ah, you mean... That's right. This witness was at the scene of the crime. Which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest. Go ahead! What?
Objection!
No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum, and the only way up there, up the stairs, is to start at the Devotion Plaza. What? The Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered the sacred space? Oh, he must have, I haven't thought that far ahead yet. The sanctum has sheer cliffs on three sides and a steep towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs. His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Immus was at such an inaccessible location is but a bit to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right? Right? I wasn't at the inner sanctum. No sir, no how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't.
Hold it!
Then what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen? I'm starting to think I'm imagining things. What? This is insane. I knew we couldn't trust that lawyer. He's trying to frame the witness. Peace, peace, I say. This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the inner sanctum, it just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. Immus. I believe in you, Nick. Rah, rah, sis, boom, rah, fight, fight, Phoenix, right. Just look at the accused. Has she no shame? What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know. She's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer position poisoned her mind. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote for confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now. I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts. Yes, Your Majesty. If I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Mr. Immus, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. I wasn't at the inner sanctum. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell you. That much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. That's his testimony? I guess it might have been impossible for him to get to the inner sanctum like he claims, but... Now you will desist in trying to frame the innocent witness. Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how he got up there. Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations? A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell. Khurainism is the strictest religion ever. And just so you know, you've already accrued 200 million years extra. Plus the 5 they started with, that's 700 million years of torment. Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take? But it's a big deal to me. It shouldn't be, because you don't believe in it. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at the inner sanctum if I can't prove it. The problem is, how am I going to do that? Phoenix, this is the most simplest thing you could think of.
Hold it!
Are you sure you went there? All I'm sure is that you're a deeply skeptical. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are all lawyers like this? Most certainly. They always try to pin the crimes on innocent witnesses without any proof whatsoever. They are no better than bacteria or viruses. Yikes! You mean he's contagious? He's gonna give me lawyeritis! Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Ooh, that was a close one. He almost put me in there at the scene of the crime when I wasn't even there.
Hold it!
You just said your memory was fuzzy. I sure did. What's the big deal? I tell you what, your testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the events is fuzzy. Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm very clear on one thing. Here we go again. If you ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night, I'd say I do. In short, you are confident that your testimony is true. Is that correct, Mr. Imus? Exactly. Guess you don't want to be gotta be judged for nothing. So in closing, I clearly say that I was totally not there. I also think I have some sort of brain damage, so maybe I should be seen by a doctor. Potatoes. I smell potatoes. Besides, it wouldn't be possible to get there in the first place. It would not.
Objection!
Damn it, I'm too soon on that. I'll probably have to prove that someone escaped from the prison or something first. I just need to hang in there a little longer. Guess I'll press first.
Hold it!
Huh. I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get in the inner sanctum. If you have something to say, then say it. Just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't. Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us. I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory. So, time to reach in my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention. You fell from the sky. Maybe you fell from the sky? The lawyer thinks he's comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Mr. Imus could have, parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. And now that you have been backed to a corner, your delusions grow ever more delusional. The innermost sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. I didn't think it just ended here. I thought it went up higher than that. That's very close. I thought there was like more than like 1,000 feet more higher it was there was a prison. But no, it's just there. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find himself in the Twilight Realm. Yeah, I don't care how silly the wind was. Even I couldn't have made that jump. Wait, what's this building on top of the Sacred Mountain? That is the Royal Penitentiary number 4. Oh, right. Princess Rafa mentioned there was a prison up there. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Ministry of Justice, or Minister. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum. Ah, information. And I also add defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving has been found. Are you saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that. Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Imus. Okay, now I can present the thing, I hope.
Objection!
Mr. Imus is right. He couldn't have skydived without any gear. Well now, finally come around, have you? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the Inner Sanctum. Right. If you didn't have any gear, that is. What on earth are you talking about? I'm getting dangerously close to the guy who did, oh, what's his name? Beard Man. Can't remember his name right now. Guy who did Donkey Kong in the newest Mario film. I don't know why I'm getting that close. Overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they have been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. Conker. The people of Khu'rain are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. No, this cannot be. The witness landed at the Inner Sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Immus? There's no way out. I'm surrounded. Yeah, Seth Rogen, that's it. Mr. Immus? All this talk's jogged my memory. I guess I was there at the Inner Sanctum after all. I was right. And the witness is helping me. As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night. You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all. Thanks? Mr. Immus, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you? No way, no how. It's like this. Oh yeah. I was only there at the Inner Sanctum by accident. By accident? Exactly. That thing's not a parachute. It's a homemade paraglider. Paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material? It may not look like much, but it was as sturdy as could be. I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. But then something happened that forced me to land at the Inner Sanctum. So you just happened to land there? You expect me to believe that? Now, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the Inner Sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. And it certainly warrants further explanation. Therefore, let's continue with more testimony. Give me the testimony. Why was I at the Inner Sanctum? That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Potipoti was drawn near, something terrible happened. An accidentally forced me to make an emergency landing at the Inner Sanctum. As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the Inner Sanctum purely by accident. Purely. There we go. Mr. Immus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning. It can't be helped. I mean, I just remembered it now. We continue such slipshod testimony and you will be cast into hell of hangnails. It's not his fault. He has amnesia. Shut the fuck up. Where you have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years. Hoo-ha! I think I'll pass on that. Looks like that court prosecutor somebody off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds. Why I was at the Inner Sanctum.
Hold it!
You were enjoying a trek through the night sky with your homemade paraglider. You didn't go to pray? A devout Khu'rainist like me can pray anywhere, even when flying through the sky. But I wouldn't recommend you try it. You're bound to end up dead. Paraglider? I don't see anything like that.
That's because of the ritual code. It blocked your view. You could have seen me. You should have seen me majestically soaring between the mountains.
Really? What do you think, Nick? Don't ask me.
I was really enjoying the flight. At first, anyway. Hold it!
Something terrible happened?
Exactly. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible.
What? Was there something unexpected near Mount Potipoti?
What was it again?
It was probably the wind that blew him off. Wait, you don't remember?
Let us just say it was terrible.
Hold it!
What exactly was this accident you had?
Good question. What was it again? Wind? Oh yeah, it was the wind. And not just any wind, but a sudden gale force wind. Made me lose control.
The wind was strong enough to make you lose control?
You got that right.
Okay then, please add that to your testimony, because there was wind.
Hold it!
Had the wind been blowing the whole time around the mountain?
Yep, just the right amount of wind for paragliding. So that sudden gale force was a real shocker.
I see, so a decent wind had been blowing around until then.
Right. Paraglider's not much for use without decent wind.
Well, you literally said earlier that it was clear skies, it's just going to be cold. Miles was still pressing everything.
Hold it!
Was that this inner sanctum? Where did you land? Where?
Well, that's easy, where the paraglider ended up.
I guess that makes sense. So outside the ritual curtain, on the other side where the moonlight shadows were cast.
But right as I landed, I hit my head on a rock. I lost both consciousness and my memory.
Something seriously wrong with this guy. He's probably got a concussion. Come on.
Hold it!
You're lucky to be alive after an accident like that.
Yeah, I'm just lucky. I'm a lucky kind of guy. It's time like these separate men from the boys.
Wow. I'd say you were incredibly lucky. Almost miraculously so.
If you got something to say, just say it.
Alright, Mr. Imus. It wasn't an accident, was it? You landed at the inner sanctum on purpose.
What the? No, it was an accident, I'm telling you. You don't even have any proof. Stop stomaching things up about me.
His testimony's like a moving target. Okay, Nick. Time for some evidence. You know, really grab him with by the scruff of his neck. Strangle him. One thing at a time, Maya. First I have to find an inconsistency. But where there is a constantly changing testimony, there are bound to be discrepancies and other issues.
Objection!
We have a saying in my country, Mr. Imus. From one life sprouts another.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover their tracks.
What did you just say?
You claimed gale force winds caused you to lose control, but this newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says the area around the inner sanctum was enjoying calm, clear skies today.
Conquer! Why, I do believe it does say that.
From one lie sprouts another. It makes sense, but is it really a saying back home? I never heard of it. Yeah, I kind of made it up on the spot. For real? Your Majesty, the witness testimony contains another flaw, one that's even more fatal to this case.
What flail, you say? The defense will explain itself at once.
Mr. Imus claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with his paraglider, but he would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind.
Why, yes, I believe you're right. But we know that the witness was at the inner sanctum, so... Mr. Imus, how did you get up there, and from where? I don't know.
Without any wind, he couldn't have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination, the only starting point that makes any sense is... Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Mr. Imus must have launched himself from here. Space!
Take that!
What? Are you insane? That's where he came from.
If he couldn't come from below, the only other option is from above.
see, Anonymous came from Royal Penitentiary number 4. From there, he could have easily reached that inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might also have killed the High Priest. What? Mr. Immus, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the right that the victim received? Was it you he saw in this final memory? Are you the rebel hunter, Lady Kira? Hoo-ha! Hey, Mr. Persecutor, sir, help me out here.
You did it. You finally left him speechless.
Oh, come on, Mr. Persecutor, man.
Quiet, you fool. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For a fate far worse than hand-nail hell awaits you now. Well done, defense. I must concede this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4. Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time? That's awfully generous of him. But if you are perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle. The riddle of Anonymous's true identity. Oh, his true identity? Not sure I know quite yet, but I guess I'll have to answer him something.
I would seem I am the only one still in the dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Who this man is we've been calling Anonymous?
The witness's true identity is... I have to present evidence. I thought I'd have to present a thing. Is this really him?
Huh. Only now do you realize the truth.
Well, please do share us with your belated insights. What's wrong, Nick? Why are you holding back? Because this isn't going to be very helpful to our case. Really? Are you sure? Unfortunately, I've got no other choice. A scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off. But it's all become clear now. A nighttime base jump from the molten top prison. A precision landing at the inner sanctum using only a homemade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is Dats Arabal, prisoner escapee and key number of Dirk's rebel group.
What? Gaha! The witness is an escaped prisoner?
Precisely. The prison has been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was under our noses the entire time.
Hoo-ha! Don't think anyone would see through my clever disguise.
The witness charade is not all that has been shattered. Is it, defense? Boy, do I hate this guy. Please recall the defense's own words. Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the High Priest. The letter said, do not perform the rite. But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the High Priest was murdered.
Who do you suppose sent that letter?
A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira. Yeah, and what's your point? What of the witness's true identity?
Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. And we just had this scene. We don't need a flashback.
This witness is Dats Arabal. Oh no! He is a rebel and an escaped prisoner. He could not possibly have been Lady Kira's mortal enemy of the rebels. No! Now, perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. After all, he has yet to refute any of this.
Hoo-ha! You got me. And the razor-sharp fangs of the defiant dragons. That's Arable. When did you get your memory back? Oh, around the time you guys were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for making up all the testimony off the top of my head. Are you prepared to tell us the truth now? Well, it's true I parachuted down to the inner sanctum, but I banged my head on impact and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. In short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie. Big fat lie? Oh, by the way, long time no see, Rudy. Yuna just knows everyone, I guess. Wait, they know each other? Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell. Oh, yes, of course. Bailiff, seize him at once. Seems you've really forgotten the will of the dragon, ho, Yudi? But I haven't, and no dogs of the Khu'rain regime are gonna lay a finger on me. Did he just jump? Deploy all available resources. I want all units placed on high alert. The escaped prisoner escaped again. The police force has been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long. Escaped prisoner who's escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony. Talk about a troublemaker. Really pulled a number on all of us. What was the point of all that anyway? Well, I can't help but feel that the entire episode was an enormous waste of time. Yes, me too. For your Majesty, perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe. What makes you say that, Prosecutor Smarty? That's Arabelle dropped something as he made his escape from these halls. That scrap of paper looks awfully familiar. These appear to be direct orders from Dirk. From Dirk, the rebel leader? Oh, but we only have a small corner of it. Wait, I remember now. Your Majesty, I've seen that scrap of paper before. You have? The scrap of paper Dax Arabelle dropped is part of this.
Take that!
And this is... I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of the orders Mr. Arabelle dropped. But if we put them two together, we should be able to read what the order says. It fits perfectly. Oh my, and what does it say, Mr. Wright? I don't know, I can't read it. I can't read Khu'rainese. Ah, Prosecutor Smarty, if you would please. The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language. Very well, then. Excuse you, learning a language is hard. It can't just pick up a book and be like, oh, I know every single word now. I can speak it. No, it would take like months, if not years, to learn another language. How about you shut up? I hate Nayuda, okay? He's starting to get really on my nerves. Although everyone in this country is. I do not understand. Well, what does it say? Using the lamplights as the landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Kira's robe and make his escape. What? That how he was supposed to escape from prison? So if I were to assume that Mr. Arabelle was the one who killed the High Priest, then maybe it was because Abbot Imi tried to thwart his escape plan? Oh, foul lawyer. I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous. Huh? But I didn't say anything. Did he just read my mind? I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebel escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that Das Arabelle is not the High Priest's killer. How can you be so sure? If only you would use that putrid brain of yours even every once in a while. Das Arabelle plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual. What do you mean? I'm speaking of Abbot Inmi, of course. Had Das Arabelle simply donned Lady Kira's robe and made his escape alone, it would have been far too conspicuous, but where he, and by the High Priestess' side... the faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that Arabal was the High Priest's killer. Ugh! So, then you're saying the High Priest was a... Oh, I cannot bear to say it. I'm afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threatened our kingdom. How could this be? The High Priest? A rebel? There must be some kind of mistake. It's only when he says it that everyone accepts it, but when I say it, oh, it's not rude. He's lying. Let it go and move on. Accept the truth, it is the only way. Damn hay fever. Bless me. That goes double for you, Defense. Cease your futile battle now. And why should I? Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated Das Arabal from the list of suspects, there is only one person that still remains, the accused, Maya Fey.
Hold it!
Hold it right there. Aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? Please to explain, Defense. We can't end this trial without looking into... I want to say the third party. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the seance vision. If that wasn't Das Arabal, then who was it?
Objection!
That matter has already been resolved. It has? What's he talking about? It was as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision.
Objection!
But there was another Lady Kira there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her.
Sakura!
What the? I can't do my finger point.
Satorai Mao Mandomo Samashi de Tashi no Ketare Gaseyo Soroka!
He didn't get it on his head this time. It is time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your arm. This hardly seems fair. It is quite simple once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead? Besides the water itself, there is nothing but the Warbad statue. Is it a secret passage? I just noticed because there's a marking back here. What if the statue retracts and then someone could just walk out? It would explain how a third person got there. Precisely. The Lady Kira we saw in the seance is the Warbad statue draped in her sacred robes. No way! That's stupid. The accused wanted the false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision. Before she came from behind and stabbed the victim with the dagger in the reverse grip. Even though they ran forward, somehow they were able to do that. But why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Kira? To show it to the victim as he was being slain. And what reason would the accused have to fool the victim she was about to kill? It was not the victim she was trying to fool. It was this very court itself. Come again? Suspicion would not fall on the accused if it had looked like as if Lady Kira was there. And the defense was foolish enough to fall for it and claim it was a third party in disguise. Are you saying... I am. It was all a cleverly wicked scheme perpetrated by the accused. Maya's not that smart. A scheme in which she sought to use the seance vision to mislead us. This can't be happening. What a face you are making, Defense. I'm surprised you are taking this so hard. After all, did I not clearly state a while back that you were chasing after naught but a deluded fantasy? Something occurred to me, you see? Your allegations for a third party are all but deluded fantasy, you know? You're telling me he knew this was how it's going to turn out all the way back then? and that he was just waiting for me the most effective moment to spring it on me? Do you understand now? I have had you dancing in the palm of my hand this entire time. It can't be. This is an outrage. You took our royal priestess sacred divination seance and used it to commit this most foul and despicable murder. No, I did nothing of the sort. Maya. Nick, it's not true. I didn't.
Objection!
Cease this ugly display. Your fate is sealed now that the facts have been exposed. Your Majesty, the time has come to convict this criminal with only seeks to taint the sacred hall. Indeed. It seems this trial is over.
Hold it!
Does the defense wish to offer up yet another counter-argument or something? The accused is, not the killer. And, here's why. Phoenix, come on, man. Now what do I do? I've got nothing. It would appear the defense has run out of arguments to make. I thought for sure that the rebel was the killer. The only person with a possible motive, one dressed as Lady Kira, has vanished. And I've got nothing to use against Prosecutor Samadi's argument. Damn it, I can't lose now. Not like this. Very well, then I shall now render my verdict. Wait! Please wait, I'm begging you. It is time to let it go and move on. This trial need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charge filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense's Culpability Acts against the defense. Now then, this court finds the accused, Maya Fey, and the defense, Phoenix Wright. Ah! Your Majesty, please forgive the interruption, but... What is the meaning of this? A body has been found in the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty. What's this? A body? What happened now? And we found this sticking out of the victim. Why, that's Lady Kira's warband dragger. Lady Kira, she has returned from the Twilight Realm once more. She has come to defeat the rebels. Peace. Well, it would seem the dagger that was once lost has now been found. I have one more thing to report, Prosecutor Samadi. Yes? This dagger has your fingerprints. Bears the fingerprints of Maya Fey on it. What? What? But why would Maya's prints be on it? I cannot believe it, yet it must be true. There's something the matter, Prosecutor Samadi. But this trial has run its course and the accused guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing. I was? You claimed that the murder at the Inner Sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Kira. I did say something to that effect, but what of it? Prosecutor Samadi, are you suggesting that what I think you are? I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter who has been masquerading as Lady Kira is none other than the accused Miss Maya Fey. What? Me? What? I realize how shocking this must seem. Looking back, however, I've now realized there was much that pointed to this fact. The rebel hunting Lady Kira was first sighted about 2 years ago. The accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago as well. Why, the timing matches perfectly. Just like I said. I knew this was going to come up. I knew it. But there is one more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the rite. Despite his house being locked up tight that night.
Objection!
I have a stupid smile. How does that prove anything?
Objection!
It is difficult to believe an intruder could have found a way to enter such a secure house. It's a house. Whatever. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there. Mainly to prepare for the purification rite.
Ever Henry was an important figure with a ton of duties, including training acolytes. He's really kind, even for a foreigner like me. He even invited me over to his house whenever I'm between sessions or training. You know, the thing.
The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing. No! If we to assume that the accused was Lady Kira, that's more than establish her motive for killing the High Priest. Yes, the victim was secretly an insurgent bent on helping Dar's Arabelle escape, after all. Precisely, that made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. After killing the High Priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel. So it seems the scope of this case has expanded. We now have 2 murders perpetrated by Miss Maya Fey, masquerading as Lady Kira. Are we just going to ignore the fact that she's right here? How did she kill the other person? While in court. Unless they're trying to say that the murder of this other person happened at the same time she was free. If Miss Maya Fey is indeed a serial killer, it would affect the severity of her punishment. How do you get more severe than being murdered or killed for something? In light of this, I believe the second murder must be investigated before we can proceed. As you wish, Your Majesty. Maya Fey, I hereby charge you with second murder. May your defiled soul feel the weight of your sins. A new murder charge on top of a guilty verdict? It seems the defense will live to see one more day. Talk about hanging on by a thread. Come tomorrow, a far more terrible punishment awaits you. I hereby suspend the proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated. Until the conclusion of this new investigation, this court is adjourned. I think what they're trying to say is that if she is Lady Kira, she's killed other insurgents before this. So they're saying that she's a serial killer because she's killed all these other people. But I get what you mean. Even in the cutscene when they showed Lady Kira, she didn't kill people. She just she tied them up. To be continued. Fine. I was hoping it was going to have a pause at some point, so I'm glad we got one. Day 2 investigation 2. Day 2. But that is where we will end it for today. We shall pick this up next time. I know we've still got more time to do stuff. Let me check how long we got. Yeah, 2 hours. This is more than enough. I think we've done enough. So, exit game. This is a good cliffhanger too. I can say it till next time. So, it's fun. I don't know if that Arabelle will come up again, or if he ends up like capturing us after the end of things. But yeah, I'm interested in finding out what's going to happen. Who wants to think that the killer is actually the monk's wife? The monk's wife killed him. That's my guess. But you know, that's completely wild. Might be a third party that hasn't even been introduced yet. But yeah, that's where we'll end it for today. Tomorrow I do have another stream planned, but it was originally going to be Remember Me. I know that I say that a Tuesday we did have Remember Me, but I finished that game, so we won't have that for tomorrow. I am debating whether I should stream this again or if I should skip the stream. The main point is that I don't know how long the investigation is going to be, and I don't know if it's going to be a good thing for my throat to do. At the moment, I don't feel as stretched out as I would be if I was doing a lot of voices for this, so I might do it tomorrow. I'll come to the decision for that tomorrow myself or later. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Just skip. I mean, I'll make a decision. I'll like think about it over the week, over the evening and tomorrow morning. And then come to a decision, but lots of voices, really? Okay. I'll think about it. I'll think about it, definitely. And then I'll probably do like a post or something to say whether I'm going to skip it or not. But yeah, like I was saying, that's what we'll finish for today. We shall pick this up next time, either tomorrow or next week, Tuesday.
So until then, thank you all for watching. Hope everyone enjoyed. As usual, like, follow, subscribe, do the bell notifications so you know our next stream. Make sure to turn it on and off. Sometimes that works if it doesn't work the first time. And if you like what I do and want to help support me, there's links to Patreon and tips as well. And if you do become a patron, you get your name added to the patron list here, where I give you a shout out at the end of every stream, like I do with Hiro Kuni and the Swordmaster 37. I thank you for the continued support, and I greatly appreciate you. And we fail at defending Maya and almost get killed, but then we have to go find another clue because we got another murder on us now. But yeah, anyway, that's it. We'll end. Have a nice rest of the day. I'll either see you tomorrow or Tuesday. Until then, y'all take care. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye, Raphatron. See ya.